How's it going, everybody? So today I'm going to be showing you the numbers, how long it would probably take to double your money in the stock market. And as you see here, I am using a compound interest calculator. And basically, if you want to get to this website, you can see it right here. I'm probably going to have a link to this down in the description. But if you want, you can just look up compounding calculator and you'll see it right here. As you see, you just click on it and it'll take you to this page. So basically right here it shows you what it is, which is compound interest, meaning that the interest you earn each year is added to your principal so that the balance doesn't merely grow, it grows at an increasing rate. Compounding interest with time is your friend when it comes to this. Compounding interest, which is interest on interest, which eventually it'll be exponential growth. So let's say we start off with a current principal of around $5,000, okay? And you don't add anything. So you just start with 5,000, you don't touch it, anything. Let's say we have you get an average return of 8% if you're in an index fund. So let's just put 8%. And let's just say you're in the stock market for 5 years. Let's just say that. And let's calculate those numbers. So in 5 years with the 8% interest rate per year, you'll have a total of $7,346.64, which is still not doubling that initial investment of $5,000. So let's put another year on there. So in 6 years, let's see how much we get. You're at 79. Let's actually put 8 years and see what happens. So in 8 years, let's calculate that. 9,000. See, we're getting closer to that. Every year it's increasing in value. It's exponentially growing slowly. Let's put 10 years with an 8% interest rate. There you go. In about 9-10 years, you'll double that $5,000. All right, so let's just say that you're actually a decent investor. You're actually picking individual stocks and you're getting a 12% interest rate. With the same 10 years to grow, let's calculate. You see the difference is going to be 10,794 right now. Let's calculate it. With just a merely 4% increase, you triple your money in the same amount of time instead of doubling it just by a 4% increase. So if you pick a stock that can give out 12% a year for the next 10 years, you'll be able to triple that initial investment. Okay, but now let's say we're back to 8%. Let's calculate that. You see we're at 10,700. But every year you want to add an additional $100, just $100 in the year. Remember this number at 10,700 or 10,800 basically. If you just add $100 more for the next 10 years, which would be an additional 1,000 to that 5,000, let's see how much we would get. With just adding the extra 1,000, you'll increase your future value to $12,359.17. But let's say we do get that 12% that we were saying. And before, I believe the number was around 15,000. Let's see what it is with the extra $100 every year. It's at $17,000. So you see the difference. If you add more money every year, this number will grow exponentially. It's basically as you see this chart. The more years, let's say that we add another 5 years, 15 years. We're doing 12% every year for 15 years, and every year we're adding $100 to the initial 5,000 that we put into the stock market. Let's see how much we would have in 15 years. In 15 years, you would have $31,543, which is pretty dang good. And this is not even $100. I believe anyone can make $100 in a year just to add to the stock market. Let's say you're adding $100 every month, which would be $1,200 a year. And everybody, you guys can make $100 extra in a month. Put in an extra few hours at work, get some overtime, get a side hustle, do whatever you need to do to get that extra cash to put into the stock market, because just adding a little bit every single month will be a huge increase. Let's see the big difference. At 15 years ago with the 12% interest, you see the number 31,000. Let's calculate it now. Just by adding $100 a month, you will be making 77,471 with that initial 5,000, the extra $100 a month for the 15 years at a 12% interest rate. You'll be in 15 years we'll have $77,471.77. And that's the power of the stock market and compounding that interest, guys. Just putting your money in the stock market, adding every month, every week if you can, and just be consistent with it. Stick to your strategies, and let's just be crazy with it. All right, let's say that what I started with was with, or I think I started with $2,500, and I was adding about $100 every month. Yeah, $100 every month was just $1,200. And let's say that I was making about 10% a interest rate, and I started when I was 18. So let's say I'll keep at it until I become 50 years old. So that would be an extra 32 years at a 10%, which this is totally possible, guys. This can be totally possible if you just dedicate and stick to your strategy, pick stocks and stick with them. Let's see what this calculates to. If you start young, the younger you start, as you see, for 32 years, if you're 18 years old right now, and the next 32 years you add $1,200 a year, and your yearly percent gain is 10% for the next 32 years, you will be able to get $300,000 by the time you are 50 years old. So that's not even a retirement age. Let's add another 10 years. 42, you'll be 60 years old. Let's calculate that. You'll have $846,590, guys. $590. So you could probably retire off that if you're in certain areas, and if you have a house and you paid off the mortgage and everything, and you have this to go off on your retirement, you'll be able to survive, and maybe you'll retire early. But let's say that you're really into the stock market, okay? And you're 16 years old right now. For the next 2 years, you're able to save $15,000, okay? We're able to save $15,000. And you're 18 years old. I don't know if you want to go into college or anything. Let's just say that you're going to college, right? So, and you have to pay everything off, but you're still working. And let's say you are able to put in $100 a week. Okay, you're able to put $100 a week, and the rest just goes off to paying off your college or whatever that you're doing, rent. And please, guys, if you're really dedicated, you get a side hustle, you can make $100 a week. All right. If you just put 1 hour extra every single day of overtime at your job, you'll be able to make that $100 extra in that week. You just gotta be committed to it. It's just all about where your priorities are at. If you guys have debt, don't invest in the stock market. Pay off your debt first, and then save up enough to have your little emergency fund, and then you can start going really hard into the stock market. The stock market can really change your life. It can really help you out. All right. So let's just say that you start off 18, 15,000. You're putting $5,200 a year. Let's just say that you don't have that much time, right? 8%, the average, and you're saving up. Let's start off with 5 years first. How much are you gonna be making in 5 years? Let's calculate that. You see there you go. In 5 years, when you're 23 years old, you'll have $54,986 in the stock market. And just to make sure, guys, this is the average interest rate. Some years you'll be probably making more than 8%. Some years there's probably going to be less. Maybe you'll be even in the negative, okay? This is just the average. It's almost impossible to perfectly get 8% every year. Sometimes you're going to make more, sometimes you're going to make less, all right? So let's change how many years to grow. Let's put 10 years. How much is that going to be? 113,000 by the time you're 28 years old. Okay, now let's put by 30. Let's see. So just in 2 years, how much is this number going to increase? In 2 years, it increased about 29, maybe 29,000, I believe. Just in 2 years. That's a, as you see, let's put 13. How much is that going to be? Well, just in 1 year, how much would you be making? 161,000. As you see, time is on your side if you start young. If the longer that you're in the stock market, you'll start seeing the exponential growth the longer that you in the stock market. So once you hit, let's see, 30 years, how much money are you gonna have in the stock market in 30 years? $787,000. As you see, and this is just with the 8%. If you're a little bit more decent, you can add another 2 or 3, 4%, 5%. If you're really good, you can get to that 15%. If you're getting to that 15% annually, that's gonna, you'll see a huge difference in 30 years. You see $787,138. You start making some big money now. Let's just see the difference in 1 year, from $787,000 in 1 more year. If you stayed in the stock market, look at that. That's an additional, what is that, 70,000, 68,000 more in a year, and you just added that $5,200 initially that for the next year, which is crazy, guys. Crazy. Now let's just say that you're really into the stock market, right? And let's say that you're actually getting about a 12%. You're not super into it, right? But you are starting to pick individual stocks. You have some money into an index fund, so that's why it's kind of bringing your interest rates a little down. But the individual stocks that you're doing, they're outperforming the markets. So that's an extra 4%. You see this number just by extra 4% a year. Let's see how much this changes. As you see, just 4%, and you're in the stock market for 31 years. This number, it changes drastically just by 4% more in the year. That's $2 million from the $887,000, I believe. Let's say you're a phenomenal stock market investor. Since you've been in the stock market for so long, you already know the trends, the market cycles, everything. You know how to pick stocks correctly. Let's say you get to that 15% interest rate the year for 30 years, which is, I'm saying that's probably like top of the, you're probably one of the best investors by then. You're top 1% right there. Let's see what the calculation is. With the 15% interest rate for 30 years, you'll have 4 million big ones in your portfolio, guys. 4 million. And I know a lot of people would love to retire with this much money in your retirement. Just look at that, $4 million. That is awesome. And this is just initial. If you guys can start your own business, or you get that engineering job and you are good at saving your income, you can easily increase this annual addition to $10,000 a year, or even more. Like, it just depends on you. If you can save up 50% of your income and put it away, that means you're doing really good. But if you're having trouble saving income, I'd say that you either have to like increase the amount you're getting paid so you can keep saving more, or spend less money every month so you can start putting the money and let that money work for you. So let's say you put $10,000, and this is possible, guys. You just need to work at it. Find like a side hustle that you can do that can give you that $10,000 extra a year, or just get a better job, or work 2 jobs. You know what I mean? But it's all up to you how much you want to put every year, or how much you can put a year. Let's see how much this changes this number, basically doubling your annual addition from 5,200 to about 10K. How much is this going to be? As you see, just adding an extra $10,000 for 31 years will be an increase from about 4 million to about 7 million, $66.9 million. That's crazy. And our goal here is to increase this number. If we can increase this number, it'll be even more of an exponential graph. It'll be going straight up, getting that interest rate up. If you can get to 20%, 30%, 40%, it's gonna be hard to get to that number, but with enough practice, studying the markets, getting more knowledgeable about this, then you'll be able to do it. Nothing is impossible. But this is all about how long you can sustain this. How long can you sustain having a 40% interest rate? I'd say that's pretty difficult to do, maybe almost nearly impossible. I don't think anyone in the stock market has been able to have a 40% yearly annual increase into their portfolios for a long period of time. It's all about sustainability. If you can keep for 31 years, if you can average this, that's phenomenal. You know what I mean? And that's all for today, guys. As you see, with the stock market, you need lots of time. With time is your friend. The earlier you start, the more committed you are. The sky is the limit. You can see the numbers for yourself. If you want to play with this for yourself, I'm probably gonna have a link to it down in the description, or you can just look up compounding calculator right here, and you'll be able to. It's gonna be this one right here. You'll be able to mess around with the numbers. You can see how crazy these things can get. You can see, like, you put $1 million here and the numbers start getting insane. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, please drop a like, subscribe, turn post notifications on, drop a comment, anything. Just tell me about your day, anything that helps the channel out. I'm trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one.